So the first question we need to answer today is that why do we require SAP HANA? Why do we need to switch to SAP HANA? Okay, why there is a new database requirement? What kind of problems we can solve by HANA? So what happened that when we go, especially for the pre-sales discussion with the clients, so clients would be having all of these questions that why I'm doing fine with my current processes, why there is a need to go for S4 HANA or SAP HANA, or what benefits I will be getting if we move to SAP HANA. And I also try to ask this question when I take interviews for HANA, SAP HANA, or S4 HANA. And I find that people find it working on 2 or 3 years on HANA, but they still find it difficult to justify that why HANA is required, why there is a different new data set is required. So that is the first question we'll be answering. But before we answer that question, I will just take a pause here and I will ask you people if you have any question so far or from our last session, or any questions related to the content, that what content we'll be providing, the topics which we have mentioned, any question about the topics, that why this topic has been included in the training, or why we have not included XYZ topic. So any question you have related to the content and topics, please ask now. I will clarify. So we have one question: when will be the system access provided? So we'll provide the system access uh, uh, in the second session onwards. So the second session will be a day after tomorrow. From that session onwards, we'll provide you system access. We generally provide it from the session number 2 or 3 because we want to optimize that period of 2 months. So we'll share the remote desktop access with you. We'll share the user ID and password to access all of the systems. All of the people who are enrolled will get it uh, uh, a day after tomorrow's sessions. Any other question do we have? Okay, let's go ahead. So basically, to answer that question, let's take a use case. So use case here is basically we are taking for a company who manufactures mobile phones. And you know that our market is changing. Digitalization, social media, e-commerce are changing the markets, are changing our processes, the way we process 5 years, 10 years ago, we don't process now. Due to that globalization, due to that digitalization, now the customer requirements are also different. Now, what customer requires now for this kind of use case, customer require a configurable smartphone for him, where he can find it out that what kind of the memory will be there, what RAM will be there, what kind of display he will be getting. So that is a configurable mobile phone a customer want to order. So that is a business process a company has came up with. And now that ordering and all process also has been changed through the e-commerce. We have new platforms to process the orders. So once once the order has been placed, the expectation is to deliver that order within 7 days. So the customize, this is kind of a real-time scenario. The customized mobile phone need to be delivered within a 7 days period. Okay. So now this 7 days period, what all the things we need to do. So when a customer has placed the order, and basically the customer in this case, for our case, is sitting in USA. The order has been placed in USA. And the manufacturing is going to happen in China. So we have a manufacturing process in China. So all of the final assembly of the product will be happening in China, and then it has to be dispatched to the warehouse, and from the warehouse it has to be shipped. It can be shipped by uh, it can be shipped by uh, air, or it can be via shipped through a port. So this case, because to maintain the 7 days delivery, we might be shipping via air, and it has to reach the destination country warehouse, and from there it has to be delivered. So all of the process need to happen in 7 days. Starting from here, order, manufacturing, and delivery. Now the thing is that now with the advanced technologies, with the advanced features in operations of supply chain, actually it is possible to quickly configure a phone and dispatch it from China to USA within a 1 week of period. But let's discuss that to support this kind of landscape, to support this kind of scenarios, what IT requirements do we have? What kind of IT functions we require, and whether do our IT systems supports these kind of scenarios to enable it. So here, basically, what kind of the IT processes will be involved? So once has order has been put it on, a demand would be generated in the warehouse. There will be the demand. Then that demand need to follow to the destination country warehouse, and from there to ahead to the manufacturing country. So all the demands need to be transferred from one place to another place, and to transfer the demand we have a batch jobs. We have a batch jobs for MRP, we have a batch jobs for our APO systems, for PPDS, for our optimization, for heuristic runs. We have a different batch jobs. So all places we work in the batch jobs. And these are those heavy batch jobs which basically runs in a night job. So let's say the order has been placed 9 a.m. in morning, and then our batch job is scheduled at night. So just to transfer that order from our source to the destination, there can be a requirement of up to 24 hours. And the system become more complex if we have a different landscape, which generally we have. USA business is on different ERP landscape or different SAP landscape. China business is on different SAP landscape. So in that case, we have a different SAP landscapes. We have in between some kind of system or boxes are there, which again take the demand and then transfer the demand ahead to the different landscape. So that kind of cases also we have then more batch jobs. Even once the manufacturing has been done, configuration has been done, to the shipping, for we have batch jobs for scheduling of the sales orders. We have a back order processing batch jobs. So a lot of IT background batch jobs are there which need to support to again transfer it to our destination. So in this whole process, which we need to do in 7 days, the IT can consume up to 2 to 3 days. So if IT takes 2 to 3 days in the whole process, the lead time of IT is 2 to 3 days, then this process of 7 days delivery cannot be achieved. Our IT landscape, our IT ecosystem has to be in that effective that can support our advanced business processes, our advanced business innovations. Now the drones are coming into the pictures. The definition of a delivery, definition of a shipment is getting changed. That when we say a fast delivery, let's say 5 years ago, and when we say today, a fast delivery or a delayed delivery, the transformation which happened in the technology has changed those definitions. Now, if pizza is arrived in 45 minutes, we call it as a delayed delivery. Although we got our order in 1 hour, but still we expect it in 30 minutes, and if it is coming in 45 minutes, it's a late delivery. So due to that, all of the innovations coming in all of the areas in operations, we need to also innovate our IT landscape so that it can support our our innovations which is coming in operation or which is coming in business. So the key case here is the IT landscape has to be enabled to support innovations. So innovation is a major, I would say, is a major motivation towards adopting SAP HANA. And all of the businesses, all of the companies, they understand that they have to continuously innovate. If you will see the list of 2000 or late 90s, the top 500 fortune companies, you will find in today's list 40% of the companies don't have. So companies, organizations need to improve continuously to remain in that list. Okay, so they understand they need to innovate, and they need to innovate in all areas. They need to also innovate in the IT landscape and IT ecosystem also. So that is the one case we have discussed, where we have seen the processes. Basically, all of the things which we have discussed right now comes under the processes, and our transactions, which comes under OLTP, transaction, online transaction processes. So this all we are talking about the improvement of transaction processes. But other than transactional processes, there are the further use cases, there are the further improvements are there which can be made in an IT ecosystem. What can be those things? Now, in the whole process, we need to track and trace. From the starting till the end, we need to do the track and trace. So do that track and trace end to end, where we have different landscapes. Visibility between the landscape is not good. Okay, due to the different landscapes, complex reportings are required even for the track and trace. So what is the requirement? Requirement is to combine landscapes. Combining landscape will also resolve our issues related to insights between the landscapes, reporting between the landscapes. And other thing is that, do we have a lot of data now into the systems. Are we utilizing all of this data to make some decisions? So operational user need to make a decision at all points. This guy who is doing a shipment, this guy, the production planning guy, the production scheduler guy, he need to make some kind of decision every day, that which order to be processed first based on the customer requirement do we have. Do he has any kind of analytics which can support this guy? Which orders need to be picked first based on the schedule we have on the dock? So warehouse manager need to look at that which orders or which materials are there which are not available in his stocks, and there is a requirement coming from the customer, or the customer is a critical requirement. Or here they need to optimize their orders. They need to prefer their orders based on the preference given to customers. Or they need to check all of the orders which are on the credit hold, which need to be released by the finance team, and they are getting impacted. If we don't do the credit release, it is going to impact our deliveries. So all of the insights, that kind of analysis, do we have available in the system? So right now, our systems are still, I can say it's not very good, but still okay with OLTP transactions. But we don't have analytical processing in our current ERP systems. So what we use for the analytical processing. So for analytical processing, what we generally use in the current scenario, we have our ECC system, and then we say, okay, for all kind of complex reporting, let's go to BW and take all of the reporting from BW, because let's differentiate. This is a OLAP This is OLTP, online transaction processes. This is online analytical processes. But do it resolve our problem? Getting a reporting from BW. Getting a reporting from BW can provide you some actions, but that would be a strategic action. You cannot get insights, you cannot get actions through the data analytics from the BW systems for these guys, for our end users, for production scheduler, for our MRP controller, for our dispatcher, for our warehouse manager, for warehouse clerk. We cannot get a strategic business decisions. We cannot make a business decisions in operations by using a BW system. However, we can make a strategic decision, let's say, uh, what should be our target for next month, or which new product we need to introduce in the coming year. So that kind of strategic decision can be taken by the BW system. And why the operation decision cannot be taken? Because there is a 1 day gap between ECC and the BW system. In the overnight batch jobs, we transfer the data from ECC to BW. Now think about a warehouse guy wants to check that what are the open orders are there, which he need to do the prioritization for them. Can he use the BW system? No, he cannot use. There is no current stock. If current stock is not there, none of the operation user can use the BW system. If the current orders with the current status are not there, we cannot use that BW system for analytical processing. So basically the requirement is there, the same test system, we are doing our transactional on the same system, we'll be able to do our analysis processing. If we can do that, then we'll be having a real-time visibility. Once we have a real-time visibility, then only we can use our data which we have collected for so many years to make decisions in operations. So there is a huge requirement to combine our OLAP systems with OLTP systems, online analytical processes, with online transaction processing to fill that gap. So that is kind of another use cases we have, where basically usage of SAP HANA is driven by analytical processing. So all of the businesses right now understand the going on innovations on the data. They can understand that a lot of problems can be solved by using the data, by doing a data analysis, by doing a data science. A lot of problems can be solved, and all of the business understand that. So there are a lot of business going with SAP HANA to achieve the analytical processing. So analytical processing is another use case and another key driver to adopt SAP HANA. So if I conclude it here, what things we have discussed? We have discussed the use cases for SAP HANA is to simplify business processes. We have a complex batch job runs. We need to simplify that. We need to have our OLAP system to be combined with OLTP. We need to get real-time insights. And we need to combine, we need to track and trace between landscapes. So to achieve all of these things, can we achieve with our current systems? So SAP is working from a long time, I think from 2005 or 6 on this HANA model. So they understand that if we want to achieve all of these things, it cannot be achieved only by writing programs. If we write efficient programs, it's not efficient to achieve all of the things. Why it is not efficient? Only the programming cannot be efficient? Because the databases, our machines behind the program are not capable enough. So they identified the machine behind the programs are not capable enough to support our IT ecosystem. So what they have identified, they identified that we need a new hardware. A new hardware is required to support our OLAP and OLTP together to provide a real-time insights, because our current hardware is dependent on a traditional hardware which run on the disks. So they find it out we require a in-memory database. A in-memory DB is required basically to adopt all of these things. That's why they came up together building up a new database by using in-memory databases. They built a their HANA database. So that's why, because our current machines, our current hardware, our existing database cannot support basically this is the reason, cannot support online analytical processes with online transaction processes. That's why we need a new hardware. That's why we need a new HANA system. Another strategic decision from SAP side is also there, is that SAP is the biggest in ERP world. Okay, so when SAP has been taken by any of the customer, a big market share goes to the companies who basically operate on the databases. So X percentage gone for the X database providers. It can be Oracle, it can be IBM. So they are taking share for that. So SAP is also trying to capture that market, because the solution has been sold as SAP. But to support SAP, you need to buy a hardware from X parties. So that is quite a significant business which is going to the X parties. So what SAP has decided, that they will be coming up with the new database, and then they will be building a new software which will only be capable to run on their machines, on their database. So that's why the SAP is also trying to capture that area, that revenue, which is going to another parties. So that is basically SAP's use case, not a business use case. I hope now you all will be clear that why a HANA database require. If we go to the previous slide, now you will be able to answer all of this question, whether you are in an interview or in a client discussion. You might be able to answer, you might be able to explain a client that what key features are coming in SAP HANA. That's why there is a requirement that the current ecosystem, IT ecosystem, cannot support our upcoming innovations. So we require the new system. I will take a brief pause here for 10 seconds to check, do we have any questions here? Or do we have any business case which you want to share with us, which you feel that can be simplified by using SAP HANA? I will take a 10-second pause to check if we have any kind of question. You can also raise your hand. I will unmute you, and then you can also ask question. Feel free to ask questions in our sessions, because we want to have interactive sessions. So if you will ask questions, you will be able to learn more. And if you also because the participants are there from the different backgrounds. So we have a participants who are having a huge experience, 15 to 20 years experience in the different modules. So if you will hear to their thoughts, there will be your learning and process will be improved, and we'll be learning more. Any questions at that point? Okay. If you don't have any question, I will proceed ahead. Now let's go with the history of SAP HANA. So before we go to history of SAP HANA, let's briefly, let me explain how SAP is proceeding. So basically, we try to start from scratch so that all of the participants can understand from where we are starting and where we are targeting to achieve. So SAP started their process around in 1970s on basically the two-tier system, which is R2. So this is called first generation of SAP, where basically we have a two-tier system, application layer, and basically a presentation layer. And uh, 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 then basically we moved to our second generation system. So this was built on based on the mainframe technology. We moved to the second generation R3 system, that is called second generation. So we did a huge improvement in R3 system. So basically we changed the whole architecture. We moved with the three-tier architecture where we have an application layer, a presentation layer, and now a different database layer, or a DB layer, application server layer, and presentation layer. Here we also introduced SAP GUI, and we were also able to do our transactional processes in real time in this one. A lot of further improvements done in R3 where we include iDocs, we include ALEs. So all of these improvements are done in R3. Then we move ahead with our third generation, which is the ECC system. So R3 has been converted into enterprise core component where basically we made a combined system with the core interfaces. We plugged in our SCM, our SRM systems, our CRM systems, PLM systems has been brought together, and we made an enterprise core component. Now the current generation of SAP is a fourth generation. So basically this 4 comes from the fourth generation of SAP. So what is the key difference between this fourth generation of SAP? The key difference, this S4HANA, a fourth generation, only worked with Hana DB. Although this all system can work on any X database. But this system, S4HANA, works only on 4 HANA databases. There is a significant kind of improvements happen between this and this. We'll be discussing in our next slides that how the SAP has taken forward their journey to go ahead and do a different kind of systems before coming up to S4HANA. S4HANA is released with the first version as 15.11. We are talking about on-premise versions. And then right now we are on the 16.10. So basically 15 comes from the year. So it is released in 2015 in the month of November. So that's why the release name is 15.11. The current on-premise one is released in 2016 in the month of October. So the version name is 16.10. There will be some new version for on-premise will be coming with I think 17.9 or 17.10 in next year. So each year there will be new versions coming for S4HANA. There will be no further improvements, development on ECC. All other further improvements and development will be happening on S4HANA. For on cloud, which is called public cloud, for the public cloud systems, basically the SAP is launching 4 versions in a quarter. So each quarter you will be having the you will be having the new versions with the new innovations involved. So on cloud, 4 versions in a year. On premise, 1 version in a year. Let's move ahead. Okay, because you are not asking any question, let me ask questions to you. So let me check based on your understanding, based on your knowledge. The question is, this question you need to answer through your chat window or the question window. You need to type the answer for that. The question is, we have discussed about R2 system, R3 system, which are the different tier system. R2 is a 2-tier system, R3 is a 3-tier system. So what do you think the SAP HANA application, whether it's a S4 HANA or another application, whether it's a 2-tier application, a 1-tier application, a 3-tier application, or 4-tier application? So you can type your answers in the quiz window. Don't worry, you are correct or wrong. We are not evaluating you, but just to have a more interactions with you, type the question, type the answer for that question based on your understanding. Okay, we have a different answers. We have one answer as a 2-tier. We have one answer as 4-tier, and we have one answer 3-tier, and we also have a one answer as a 1-tier. So we can see that the different understandings. Now we have an answer for all of the kind. We have one more answer for 3-tier. So let me ask Umesh. Umesh, can you tell? I will unmute you. Why do you think it's a 4-tier? Yeah, Umesh, I have unmuted you.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it's a 4-tier, but it is a 1-tier because right now, everything is within one system, so that's why it's a 1-tier. I wrongly mistake this 4-tier. So my preference answer is first 8-tier, 1-tier.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. So I have given you the mic control. You can unmute you once you are not speaking anything.
Okay.
So now what is there in the HANA system is you need to read this also carefully, which says that choose the correct answer. So this is kind of one of the certification question which has been asked by SAP, and you need to read this carefully, choose the correct answers. So there can be multiple answers for this question. So the SAP HANA system will discuss the architecture in detail, but basically SAP HANA system is rather than a database, it's called an appliance. In appliance, it has a database layer, and it also has an application layer, which is called Access Engine. So Access is an application layer of HANA. So that's why, because HANA is having a lot of more capabilities than a database, that's why we don't call it as a HANA as a database, we call it HANA as an appliance. So when the application layer is already built-in feature of a HANA database, so what happened? The only thing we require is a presentation layer. Presentation layer can be our GUI, it can be Fiori, it can be web application or web browser. So basically, what do we require? We require this tier, the presentation tier, and we require HANA database tier. So the 2-tier is the correct answer, but SAP has also capability, so this is optional. To use application layer of HANA database is optional. You can also have your third-party application with your own application server. You can use your own application server, and then your presentation layer, and then you can connect with the HANA database. Then this architecture is 3-layer or 3-tier. Okay, so if you go with that option with using our own application server, it's a 3-tier. So that is also a correct answer. 1-tier is not correct. 4-tier is not correct. So for this one, we have 2 correct answers. 2-tier and 3-tier, both are correct. Is a multiple choice question. I hope everybody is clear on this. Let's go ahead and answer our next question. Now, what is happening in the market? We call it as a SAP HANA simplified. But what I consider is a complicated system for functional consultants, for technical consultants, for business analysts. Why it is bringing the complications for those guys? It's making simplified for the end users, but for the initial phase for the consultants, it's making things complicated. It's making things complicated because now we have a lot of new terminologies. Sometimes we call it HANA, sometimes we call S4 HANA. Some people call it suite on HANA. I hear somebody calling simple finance, somebody is calling simple logistics. I also hear a word calling MM and O, and I'm confused what all the things are there. Earlier we were very simplified, only a ECC system. And what are all of these terminologies? Actually, it's making confused people. And when I'm trying to ask these questions for the people who are having even experience in HANA, they are not clearly able to answer the differentiate between all of these different terminologies. So let's go ahead and see what other different terminologies means. So this different terminologies is actually a different product of SAP HANA. So SAP HANA is delivered in the different products. So at first what SAP done, they worked on the in-memory database and they prepared a platform in 2011, 2010 and 11. They launched their platform as SAP HANA. So when SAP HANA was launched, it was just a platform or it was just a database appliance. There was no application which can work on SAP HANA. So it was an open platform. Anybody can come and make their applications on top of SAP HANA. You can run your third-party applications. You can take SAP HANA as a platform, or you can take SAP HANA as a database, and then you can build your own applications on top of that. It provides all of those features which can support to put up your own application, your own solution on SAP HANA. So SAP HANA itself is a product. So once SAP HANA is launched and there was nothing there in the market, so the first scenarios come into the picture was sidecar. So we'll be discussing this scenario in detail in the further sessions. So in sidecar, what we do, we have a ECC system. And we bring data from the ECC system to the our SAP HANA system, and we brought out analytics from there. That is SAP HANA system. Then further, after this, SAP, to support this sidecar scenario, SAP come with a solution called HANA Live. HANA Live is nothing but the same kind of a sidecar solution which we have discussed. Again, we'll be discussing HANA Live also detailed. We have a complete session for HANA Live. Then in 2012, SAP came with their first product for HANA, that was BW on HANA. So they make the capabilities in the BW system so that it can run on SAP HANA databases. So BW on HANA was the first SAP products on top of SAP HANA. Then they come up with the next product is Business Suite on HANA. So the benefit from basically from the BW of HANA was real-time analytics, real-time reporting, and the fast processing of our reporting. The throughput and the efficiency of the program increase a lot in BW. Then SAP Business Suite on HANA is nothing but our ECC on top of HANA. So we can also run ECC on top of HANA. So that capabilities has been made with enhancement pack 7 and 8, that we can run our ECC on top of HANA. So there will be, what we'll be doing, we'll be just using SAP HANA as a database. So there will be no simplification in our data model. We'll be using a HANA database as just a database. So basically what we are doing, the XD database, we are replacing with HANA database in this. So Suite on HANA is nothing but our ECC on top of HANA. Then came the Simple Finance. In around 2014, they come up with the first version of Simple Finance. Now we are, I think, on the second version of Simple Finance. In Simple Finance, what they did, they took all of the data model and processes of finance and they simplified. They simplified the processes for month-end closing. They simplified the data model. So all of the processes related to finance has been simplified and the name has been given as a Simple Finance. Now with the Simple Finance, we have centralized controlling and reporting of finance, putting a single source of truth as with the universal GL accounts. So all of the processes we got in the Simple Finance. So that is a separate process. That is altogether a separate product. And between these two products, SAP has also launched one add-on for Simple Finance. So there was an add-on was built which we can run on top of ECC Suite on HANA with activating business function. We can simplify the finance. Then they come with the new product altogether with Simple Finance. So once the finance simplification is done and SAP got a success for it, they're starting and developing and improving all of their other logistics modules. So improvement in all of the logistics modules, improvements in all of the data models related to logistics is called as a simple logistics. It's also called as a MM&O, material management and operations. So simple logistics and material management and operation is both the same terminology for same things, simplification of logistics. What happened that once SAP started their project to simplify logistics, they gave that project name as MM&O. And the success from the Simple Finance and that success from that terminology, Simple Finance, came into the picture, and then people start saying the simplification in logistics as a simple logistics. But simple logistics is not a separate product. There is no product, SAP product called Simple Logistics. The product name they have changed to S4HANA. So to remove all of this confusion with the different product, they came up with the new product as S4HANA, and SAP said that all of the improvements, all of the things they will be doing, they will be upgrading this product as a S4HANA. Now this S4HANA is a major change. It's a huge change compared to here because we are talking about simplifying a data model. When we talk about the simplifying the data models, it looks very simple. It looks very simple terminology. But if you are changing your data model, it means all of the current programs, all of your current coding, you need to change because our old code support our old data model. Now, a lot of code has been rewritten to get simplified with the simplified data model. So when we simplify the data models, we reduce the data amount of data, we reduce the aggregate tables, we reduced the indexes to simplify our data models, SAP has also rewritten whole of the code with the simplified data models and to have advantages and to have a compatibility with in-memory database. So S/4HANA is a big change for any enterprise or any business because it has a new data model, it has a new coding for it. But for end users, it remains minimal changes. It simplifies for them. So right now we are on the 16.10 version of S/4HANA. Any questions here? Any question about the different terminologies we have? Okay, we have one question from Ranganath. With ECC Enhancement Pack 7 and 8 on SAP HANA database, will it enhance the performance of ECC? Did any company implement this model? Yes, there are the many companies who have implemented this model. It enhanced the processes. So what we take the advantage from the ECC on top of HANA, we take all of the advantages of a HANA database. So what HANA database do, because it's an in-memory database, all of the processes become fast on the HANA database. We'll discuss about how the in-memory database can read the data 10 times faster than compared to a traditional database. Okay, so we'll learn there in our upcoming sessions. So yes, the processes become faster, and but you don't get your data to be reduced. You don't reduce much of that. You reduce the data, but you don't reduce much of the data. You reduce more data with simplification of the data model. And then once you simplify the data model, you also simplify the code. So you have additional benefits in S/4HANA. Your processes got more faster, and then you get the embedded analytics with enhancement with the S/4HANA. So what is the drawback with this? Why should a company go with this? Business Suite or HANA, or why should it not go with this? One of the drawback is that we are not completely reducing the data footprint in this process. Although the data will be compressed because it's a native capabilities of HANA database, that when we put the data into HANA, it compresses the data. Okay, but still it doesn't reduce the data because we still have index tables, we still have aggregate tables into the system. That model has not been simplified yet. So what happened? We still have a huge amount of data, and the in-memory database system are the expensive system. They are the most efficient system, but they are the expensive system. So if we are going with this model, you need to buy a big in-memory database to adopt that. I hope it answers your question, Ranga. Okay, let's move ahead. What are the different features and capabilities are there for all of these different systems? So let's understand this. So we have discussed that we have a different kind of systems there. SAP ECC, Suite on HANA, S/4HANA, Simple Finance, then S/4HANA. So basically difference between Simple Finance and S/4HANA is S4 has a simplification for both finance and logistics, and finance has only simplification for finance module. All other modules remain as it is. So do our core SAP ECC processes are supported? It is supported by all of them. So please make a note, we are discussing only about the core SAP ECC processes. It doesn't mean that S/4HANA support blindly all of the processes. There are a lot of processes which has been obsoleted in S/4HANA, which is not supported. Okay, and there are a lot of business functions which are yet to be implemented on S/4HANA. There are a lot of business functions related to the line of businesses which are still not supported by S/4HANA. So that is basically the next one, the SAP ECC modules and functionalities. Yes, all these three supports this, but this doesn't support fully. HANA database, SAP ECC 6 doesn't run on the HANA database. Suite on HANA runs on the HANA database. S/4HANA on HANA database, and this is also on HANA database. HANA Live Reporting. So HANA Live Reporting is nothing but a sidecar solution which has been put in once HANA was there without any another system on HANA. So SAP ECC 6 doesn't have a HANA Live because it works only with the HANA database. Suite on HANA has HANA Live. S4 Finance also has a HANA Live. S4 HANA Enterprise Manager, it doesn't have a HANA Live. Although the same kind of capabilities we can achieve by data modeling. By doing a data modeling, we can achieve the same kind of functionality. But SAP doesn't provide reports in HANA Live. So we'll go through the SAP has around 1,000 or 1,200 views, automatically created views provided under the HANA Live. So that is to bring the ECC data. But for S/4HANA database, we can do our own data modeling, but not HANA Live. Other than HANA Live, we have here the concept which is supported is CDS, Core Data Services. So when we talk about the embedded reporting, basically SAP talks about CDS reportings. So it's just another terminology, and the definition given by SAP is core data services. Core data services are nothing but it's called views which are made on top of ABAP. So when we call about ABAP on HANA, we talk about CDS views, which is nothing but a SQL written on HANA database with ABAP lifecycle management. That's why it's called ABAP on HANA. So we have a lot of CDS views created by HANA, created by SAP, and it's supported by S/4HANA, which we can use via embedded Fiori. We can use all of these functions. So that's why I call the embedded reporting. We call about CDS view. The CDS views is only supported with S/4HANA. Simplified finance data model is there in both Simple Finance and S/4HANA. Simplified material management and operations, or we can say the simplified logistics is only there in S/4HANA, not there in any another product. SAP Fiori is a concept which SAP is working from long time. It's available with all of our modules. But the key enhancement and the key development for the new applications is now done on Fiori for our S/4HANA. Optimized SAP Fiori apps. There are some optimized Fiori apps for Suite on HANA. Then we have for finance. And then a lot of optimization has been done. A lot of new development has been done basically for S/4HANA. SAP also support the embedded BW system. So you can have a both kind of architecture, embedded BW on HANA, or you have a separate BW on X database, or you can also have architecture on a HANA database on a separate machine, on a separate BW system on a separate HANA database. So this both model, Simple Finance and S/4HANA, supports embedded BW and BPC. BPC is business process consolidation, which is basically used for finance and operational reporting and consolidating with collaboration of data. So it has embedded into the S/4HANA system. But it can, when it is embedded, it can have a separate license required, separate hosting can be there for both of the things. Route to new solution. Please make a note there, no new solutions are going to come for ECC. There can be enhancement packs, there can be support packs, but these enhancement pack and support packs, the major changes are there to basically support this ECC system for the upgradation, to make it more compatible, to make our upgradation more easy. There will be changes, but new functions, new features, new innovation will not be happening on ECC system. Suite on HANA, basically we can upgrade our ECC system on top of Suite on HANA, and then from Suite on HANA we can go to either to S4 or to Simple Finance. For S4HANA we can do both. We can do a system conversion, or we can also do a new install, basically a greenfield project. S4HANA has a system conversions, migration, landscape transformation, and new installation. All of the things are there with S4HANA. System conversion effort, this is where we cannot convert, there's no effort. There's also for Suite on HANA, there's no conversion happening, only change we are doing the database, so no conversion effort. There's a low conversion effort for S4HANA Finance because only simplification of finance is included. There's a high conversion effort for S4HANA because all of the logistic modules are getting converted. Core component. Our earlier core component was SAP APPL, which was in ECC, and same with all of these three. The Simple Finance also used the same core component. Core component is nothing but it need to be installed in our SAP system with the by basis team to implement S4HANA. Now we have a new core component which is called S4 Core. Project effort for sure for S4HANA it's high. Simple Finance, only finance teams are included, and the regression testing for the logistic modules. So it is still high but lower than the S4HANA. For Suite on HANA, because we are not changing any coding part here, the efforts are medium. Here it is not applicable. Let me quickly show you in our system the core component, how to see that. So we'll be connecting with our remote desktop. So you need not to install anything. We'll be providing a remote desktop access to you. Here we have all of the things and features you require. We have S4HANA 1610. We'll be providing a user ID and password for both S4HANA and ECC. Our ECC system, on top of ECC, we also have a SLT on ECC. Let's go to System, Status. Let's go to Details. Now here you will find the component S4 Core. This is our new component S4 Core, which we implement for S4HANA. So if you want to check whether which system you are using, whether it's on HANA database or not, whether it is S4HANA or not, you can go in the status and you can check from here. If S4 Core is there, then it is on S4HANA. And if you want to check the version of S4HANA, you can go to install product version, and here you can check S4HANA on-premise 1610. Initial shipment stack is there. So we have with on-premise 1610 with initial shipment stack. Going back to my slide, let me ask you any questions here related to different products we have. Any question, any doubt you have about the different products. It's very necessary for a functional consultants or for a technical consultants to understand that there are the different products now available, which we can discuss with client that which product they want to adopt, what is their roadmap, how they want to move ahead with the S4HANA, whether they want to go step by step or whether they want to approach directly to S4HANA. We have one question from Tapas that what is on-premise edition? So basically SAP HANA is delivered in two. So that's why I say that I said that the things are getting simplified, but for consultants it's getting complicated. Now altogether with this, the S4 HANA is delivered into the two models. Not in two model, I will say it is three model. On-premise, then on-premise on private cloud, and then HANA public cloud. So again, these all are the different products. So we can have S/4HANA on-premise. When we say about on-premise means we own the database, we own the machines. Okay, so the machines will be installed in our own organization, which we will be agreeing on. So the server and the data will sit with us. Okay, that is basically the on-premise, and we'll be having a license for it for the on-premise, and we'll be having authorization to do the changes for the code which has been given by SAP. So we will be able to use all of the customer exit, creating a new programs, all of the access will be there as the same. So the earlier ECC, if you are doubtful that what is on-premise, the current ECC 6 which we are using is on-premise. There is no on-cloud option. So the machine sits within the business premises. They own the data, they own the machines, they own the hardwares, and they also own the solution. That is basically the on-premise. Now another version of on-premise is on-premise on cloud. We can also go with that option where basically we will be using the on-premise solution, but we will be implementing this on-premise solution either taking a cloud platform from SAP or any another third party cloud platform we can take. It can be AWS, it can be SAP, HEC, HANA Enterprise Cloud. It can be also now the Google is also coming into the picture. They have a last month handshake with SAP, and now the GCP will also provide us services for HANA systems. So we can use a different kind of platform for cloud for our own premise solution that is called on-premise on cloud. Then we have a HANA public cloud. HANA public cloud, you don't own anything. All the accesses are there with the SAP. They manage your hardware, they manage the hardware, they manage the solution. All of the things has been managed. You just take a subscription of the solution and you use that solution through web portals. That is a HANA Cloud solution. You have a very limited access to do any changes in the solution. You need to adopt the existing solution provided by SAP. If any changes are required, you need to get it done through SAP. So that is a different systems we have. I hope it answers your question, Tapas. Any another question from participants? Okay. Umesh has one question. It is Business Suite. Is it a question or is it a comment, Umesh?
Yeah. I just saw this HANA Cloud you explained, right? So it's basically previously SAP have some product like SAP Business One, SAP Business. It's very similar to this, right?
Kind of, yeah. So that are the standard product SAP has been provided, which by which it's used for the small scale industries. They need to do a minimal changes and they can quickly adopt the product. Same kind of approach as there. That's correct statement. But the the famous one is the on-premise. SAP has that public cloud, but there are very few customers going with the HANA public cloud because of the restrictions they have. But the future is cloud. The future would be the public cloud. SAP has done a good work to put the whole enterprise solution, the whole ERP solution on a public cloud by standardizing, by harmonizing each and everything, and they are continuously improving. So right now it's not a famous product, but I can tell you for sure in upcoming 2 to 3 years that would be very famous product because it would be a very economic product. It is a subscription based. There's no cost of ownership. COW is very low with the HANA public cloud. Adoption is easy, implementation is fast. Due to all of these capabilities, it would be a good product for future.
But functionality wise is the same, right? And premises and the cloud, right?
No. Functionalities also there are some different functionalities for premise and on cloud. Basically, on cloud will be having a product version every quarter. So every quarter the new things has been done, new simplifications has been done, new Fiori application has been provided. So that simplification will be done in on cloud version, and every quarter there will be one version for that. So which would be, we can say that 80 to 90% functionality would be similar, but there will be around 15 to 20% functionality different.
So cloud is a continuous improvement, right?
Cloud is a more continuous improvement compared to on-premise. Easy adoption to the innovation which SAP is doing, automatic adoption for the innovations which SAP is doing. You need not to install or you need not to upgrade. It get automatically upgraded by SAP to the new versions every quarter.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for explanation.
Okay, sure. Let's move ahead. I have a few more questions for you. Let's go through it. Let's say the first question is, which of the below application can only run on SAP HANA database, which cannot be run on any X database? It has to be on HANA database. You can send your answer through the question window. Business Suite on HANA, it can have a multiple answers. Business Suite on HANA, Simple Finance, Fiori, S4HANA, NWBC, and BW. NWBC is NetWeaver Business Client. Let me sort it this. So A is Business Suite on HANA, B is Simple Finance, C is Fiori, D is S4HANA, E is NWBC, F is BW. We have some answers. Sumit said ABC. Tapas says all. Sumit also says D. And we have one more answer, ABD and ABCD. Okay, thanks for answering this. Let's see what are the correct answers. So Business Suite on HANA, its name suggested, is on HANA. So that product is on HANA. So that is a correct answer. It can only work with SAP HANA. Simple Finance. Simple Finance is also another product which runs with HANA. So that is also a correct option. The question is which can only run on SAP HANA, which means which cannot run on any other system. Fiori is not a correct answer because Fiori can run on with any of the application, let's say ECC with the ECC or with any another. So Fiori is not a correct answer. S4HANA is correct. Yes, it works with the HANA database only. It cannot work with any other databases. NWBC NetWeaver Business Client is again the old one, which supports all of the different products. So this is also not a correct answer. BW also has an option with HANA, or it can also run on without HANA. So this is also not a correct option. So our correct options here are A, B, and D. These are our correct options for this question. Yes, A, B, and D are correct options. Let's go to next question. What does simple logistics means with respect to HANA? Choose the correct answers. So basically we are asking here about the simple logistics. What do you understand about the simple logistics? What do it mean? Is it same as MM&O, material management and operations? Is it just another name of simple finance? Is it a SAP HANA product for logistics simplification? Or is it the S/4HANA integral part explain about changes and simplification in logistics module? Or is it about logistics execution processes in S/4HANA? Okay. I hope the screen is refreshed now, and now you can see the quiz questions. Okay, give it an attempt. It has a multiple answers. Okay, we have some answers. A, C, E, C and D, ACD, ACD, and E. So multiple answers are there. Let's have a look. Which are the correct ones? MM and O I have explained in the previous slide, it is nothing but the same name for the logistic simplification. And simple logistic is also talk about logistic simplification. So MM&O and simple logistics or logistic simplification are same thing. So A is correct answer. Another name of simple finance? No, simple finance is a different product which talks about the simplification of finance. Simple logistic doesn't talk about that. Although that simple logistic is not a separate product, but that terminology doesn't talk about the simplification of finance. Third option is SAP HANA product for logistic simplification. Yes, that is a correct answer. Fourth option is S/4HANA integral part explain about changes and simplification in logistics module. Sorry, this is not a correct option. C is not a correct option because it says SAP HANA product. Simple logistic is not a SAP HANA product. There is no product called as a simple logistics. So C is not a correct answer. S/4HANA integral part explain about the changes and simplification in logistics module. That's correct. D is right option. Logistics execution processes in S/4HANA is not a right answer because it not only talk about the logistic execution process, but it talks about all of the logistics. So logistic execution is just a part. Simple logistics include IM, WM, PP, MM, SD, and in future there will be more simplification coming for QM, PM, weigh-in configurations. All of this will come under the simplification in M&MO or the simple logistics. I hope we all are clear with this. If any question you can ask, or I will move ahead. Next topic is motivation and innovation driving HANA. We have seen that topic in the first earlier slides. We talk about what kind of motivations are there which can drive HANA and what innovations are driving HANA. So let's quickly see what all other things are there. So we have a business collaboration. So business collaboration is nothing but, let me use different pen color. Business process is nothing but integrating our systems with the different landscapes or the different systems available. So business collaboration with Ariba, business collaboration with Fieldglass, Concur, and our existing landscape system 1, system 2. So basically now we have a multiple system uh, doing a multiple functions. So the key business decisions and the key capabilities for the improvements will come if we combine all of that system together. So SAP S/4HANA is providing a S/4HANA Enterprise Management, which will work as a central component and will be linking with all of the cloud functions, all of this cloud kind of solutions, and it can also integrate with our different landscapes. So collaborating our whole businesses give us additional advantages to make decisions, to simplify our processes, and to simplify our data and the IT landscapes. So that is one of the key driver for SAP HANA implementation. Then real-time business, we discuss that the operation teams right now doesn't have any analysis. They don't have any real-time analysis. So we have all set of data. If we provide a real-time business analytics, which is provided by S/4HANA embedded analytics, or with the HANA Live, or with another component which HANA has, is another key driven. So analytics is involved here. So wherever analytics is involved, that is a key driver to adopt for SAP HANA. Then personalization and exception-based handling. So what do we mean by personalization and exception-based handling? Is nothing but simplified user experience. Think about our current blue screens in SAP. Doesn't it look like it's too complicated? Or one transaction for sales order, VA03. How many people use it? Our order creation guy use it. Our picker also use it. Our finance guy to check the costing, they use it. Our sales manager to look on some kind of the data, they look at that. For checking some of the pricing condition, we go to that. Checking the statuses of the sales order, different team use that transaction. So if you will see that transaction, it's very complicated transaction. Okay, and first of all, you need to know the transaction code to go to that transaction. If you don't know the transaction code, you need to just struggle with the menu structure. Although you are not supposed to have uh, all of the transaction code used, but you have a big menu structure. So what is getting simplified highly, which I consider is one of the biggest simplification and motivation to adopt SAP HANA, is simplified user screens. Just think about your e-commerce platforms where you go to Amazon or any site and you place an order. Do you need any kind of training to do that process? No, right? It's very simple web-based approach. The same kind of approach, for why can't we bring it for the ERP processes, for our SAP transactions? Why do we need special trainers to go and teach the business users that how to use the transaction? Because current SAP GUI is very complex. First, users need to learn the transaction codes. Then within a one transaction, when they reach, there are so many tabs are there. There are the 1,000 fields. They are only bother about the 10 fields. So the system is complex. So that complexity is getting simplified with new Fiori-based application. So Fiori is dividing the same kind of transaction into the multiple transaction, a small transaction, a simplified transaction with the minimum fields which a user is required, let's say to create a purchase order. So that things is getting simplified with Fiori. We are getting a user-based dashboards, user role-based dashboards in Fiori or NWPC. So basically, functional consultant will be identifying that what kind of the user that role is done, and based on that roles, they need to identify what Fiori application that user might be using, and to configure a role for that kind of users. And with that role, when they will be seeing their dashboard, they will be seeing already some information in the dashboard in different tiles, and then just clicking on the tiles, they will be able to proceed ahead to the third level in Fiori. Okay, so in this approach, the difference is basically within the few some clicks, user will be able to get the information. Okay, and this tile is already telling some information to guide user where his attention is required, where do he need to do a click. So rather than a T-code approach. So that is another motivation towards adopting SAP HANA. Then we have a predictiveness, machine learning, big terminologies, big names, but still under the concept phase. SAP has developed a tool for predictive analysis. It has own predictive analysis library and a front-end tool to generate reporting based on the predictive analysis, but still on the concept phase, still on the very initial phase, not in the concept phase. Machine learning is still kind of a concept phase. So what is the difference between predictiveness and a machine learning? So predictiveness is something like you are creating a purchase order, or you have created a purchase order. System look into your all of the historical data and identify that the vendor you have choose, what is the performance ratings for it, and what is the actual lead times for it, and then suggesting you that you have put it a delivery date of 18th of June. But as per the vendor performance, you will be getting that material received on 21st of June. There can be some delay. So that is what predictiveness tells you. But still the development is going on. There is very few application in Fiori which can provide you that kind of things, but SAP is working on, and in future there will be a lot of predictive applications will be there. Then what is machine learning? For the same case, the machine learning is something, if you have that situation, what action do you take? Do you go and change the date of a purchase order? Do you go and change your vendor? Or you go and contact your sales guy after checking your sales order which is getting impacted, and then you change the date in the sales order. So that kind of things system will be able to identify, not available current now, but the future. And then based on that, system will be able to also suggest, based on the machine learning and based on the actions you have taken in past, that what is the most appropriate action you should take. That is what machine learning is. So these are our current innovation highlights. So we'll be stopping our session here for today. We'll be continuing from here a day after tomorrow, where we'll be discussing about how the data footprint reduction is going to happen with SAP with HANA system. We'll be discussing all of these concepts in detail, and I will show you in the system what do we have indexing, how indexing is going to change in our SAP HANA system, how there will be no index in SAP HANA system. Column store is another topic, column and rows data structure, which after completing the data footprints, we'll be going and seeing how we are changing from a row data structure to a column data structure, and what do we mean by row data structure, what do we mean by column data structure, and what are the changes are happening with this column data structure. Compression is again one of the HANA capabilities we'll discuss. So we'll start with the data footprint reduction in next class. We'll discuss the indexing part in detail. We'll go into the system and we'll check the tables, what index has been removed and why the indexes are not required. Then we'll basically go first tomorrow we'll go to the basics of database. So before going ahead in anything, I just want you to understand what are the basics of database are there. What then we'll move ahead to understand what is in-memory database. Then we'll move ahead and we'll understand what is SAP HANA database. So that are the key topics for our next session. I will stop here, I will take a pause, and I will open the forum for discussions and questions and answers. You can go ahead and ask any kind of questions you have. You can raise your hand, I will unmute you, and you can speak and ask your question. We more appreciate if you can raise your hand, we can unmute. The interaction will be better than typing a question. Any kind of question you have related to this training, what kind of the things will be there, what kind of the things will be covering, the schedule, any other question you have, we can answer it now. Are we good with the schedule of training? Is anybody is having a problem with schedule? The weekday batches, morning time India and evening time Western countries. Okay, Sumit said no issues, and also said good. So basically, slowly, what we'll be doing, we'll be trying to increase. So this morning session, I will ask you to book a maximum of 2 hours. We'll make sure because it is weekdays, we don't go beyond 2 hours. Okay, so within the 2 hours, we'll try to complete our session. And in the upcoming weeks, we will change to the model to the 3 days in a week. And we'll also try to progress fast our training if required during in the weekend session. But that weekend session, if we apply a plan for extra session, it has to be agreed by all of the participants. Then only we go with the extra weekend session. Okay, if no questions for now, I'm going to end this webinar session, and I'm going to share another link for the next webinar session where you can attend. So this week we'll be attending through webinar sessions. Next week we'll be sharing a GoToMeeting links. So we'll be having a session on GoToMeetings. So thank you everyone. Thank you for joining the session, and see you in the next session. Goodbye for now. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. Have a great day ahead.